Every week, guys, I think it's very important to give you important information because after all, you're making important decisions on whether or not you want to move to New Braunfels or whether or not you want to move out of New Braunfels if you're a homeowner here. So I dove into this report by the New Braunfels Chamber of Commerce Economic Division about the economic health of our city here in New Braunfels. Is New Braunfels sick and dying, or is New Braunfels healthy and thriving? So today we're going to go over what New Braunfels looks like in 2022 according to this report. If you guys are new here to my channel, thanks so much for hopping on, because every week we're putting out new videos about what it's like to live in New Braunfels. All right, so let's go over this economic benchmark report put out by the Chamber's Economic Division here in New Braunfels, and it covers key economic areas. For example, household incomes, population, jobs, property values, and just overall growth in New Braunfels. Think about it. If this report indicates that everything is going downhill financially and economically here in New Braunfels, then where do you think values are going to go? Right, downhill. So let's get into this report and find out what New Braunfels looks like right now in 2022. Population is a key benchmark indicator in this report. The report says that we've gone from 57,000 population in 2010 all the way up to 90,000, just over 90,000 people in 2020. Now, 2020 was the last time this census report was recorded, but it's safe to say, I think since then, from what we've been able to observe on the ground in New Braunfels, that population is moving closer to 100,000 people because of all the movement we're seeing here in New Braunfels since the pandemic, all the families moving here since the pandemic. You'd think a pandemic would kind of slow things down, but it's been just the opposite here in New Braunfels, and I only see our population continuing to grow in the years ahead. Number one, New Braunfels is 45 square miles large, which leaves a lot of room for growth. We have a lot of growth now, but we have more on the way. And that growth is being reflected in another major benchmark indicator, the number of residential permits. New Braunfels has added 35,000 new homes since 2011, almost 2,000 in the last year, and commercial is ramping back up again after dipping at the beginning of the pandemic. The number of new homes added to New Braunfels in the last year, what I mentioned, 2,000, it should actually be higher than 2,000, but it's not right now because builders can only build so fast enough here in New Braunfels because two things: shortage of home materials, and also shortage, this is the biggest shortage we're having, continue to have, dating back to last year, is a shortage of labor. And when you have a shortage of labor, your timelines on these homes get stretched out. For example, I'm walking a new construction home site for our out-of-state buyers, and they want to know if their additional gas line has been added to the utility room for their gas dryer. And the builder told us, no, it hasn't been added yet because we can't find workers to do it yet. Despite these shortages, the labor and the home materials, I do see the number of permits increasing in New Braunfels because the buyer interest has increased, and there's a lot of room to cover New Braunfels. There's a lot of room for growth. We have new communities popping up here in New Braunfels and more lots being released and permitted in developing neighborhoods. So feeding off that, let's look at what the benchmark report looks like for home values here. It's consistent with what we've been telling you the last couple of years on this channel. Average home values in New Braunfels have gone up, get this, almost 100% since 2011. And values here have gone up 22% in the last year alone. And I don't see home values coming down in New Braunfels this year in 2022 for the simple fact that we have this many buyers and this many available homes for sale, less than a month right now. And also because we have that shortage of workers in building new homes. So when you have fewer new homes being built, that puts more pressure on the pre-existing homes, the resale market. So you have all these buyers flooding that resale market, which means prices only continue to go up. So if you're a homeowner thinking about selling in New Braunfels, 2022 may be a great opportunity for you. All right, so home values continue to rise in New Braunfels and homes are getting more expensive here. But can people afford the homes here? Well, here's a key benchmark indicator from the report that says, yes, people can afford homes in New Braunfels. The median household income in New Braunfels has increased by 57% since 2011. The county household median income has increased by 15% since 2020. A good indicator of household income and home values is job growth. New Braunfels added 1,200 jobs in 2021. That's up 76% from 2020. And New Braunfels averages over 1,100 jobs added per year since 2011. Now, I don't see job growth in New Braunfels vanishing or slowing down anytime soon because of the number of new companies and projects and businesses coming to New Braunfels. Now, do we have the higher paying jobs like Austin does? No, overall, we do not have those higher paying jobs like Austin does, but that's the thing, we really don't have to. 70% of our residents living in New Braunfels either commute to the Austin area or San Antonio area for work because we're conveniently located between those two cities. The report says unemployment is down below 4% compared to 6.5% in 2020. New Braunfels is a tourist town, even during a pandemic. And here's a key benchmark indicator from the report that basically says when everyone else in Texas and the rest of the country locks down and shuts down, New Braunfels is wide open for business. The city's sales tax revenue receipts are up 111% since 2011. It's up 21% in 2021 from 2020. And we're seeing that firsthand on the ground with tourists and residents still out in full force here in New Braunfels at events, activities, rivers, parks, theaters, restaurants, resorts. After being cooped up for almost 2 years, New Braunfels is everybody's playground. And that's continuing in 2022. So these are the major benchmarks to come from this report. And as you just heard on this video, guys, our benchmarks are booming in New Braunfels, and we see it on the ground every day. It's exciting from our new housing communities coming in, our new commercial developments coming in, our existing businesses in New Braunfels reinvesting in their businesses to handle all the growth coming. And there's a lot coming to New Braunfels. We actually did a video on that. It's called Coming to New Braunfels. Check it out. This, guys, is an exciting time to be in New Braunfels. In the next 10, 15 years, it is going to be interesting and exciting at the same time. But I really want to hear from you guys right now. What do you think? What are you most excited about if you live in New Braunfels, or if you're thinking about moving to New Braunfels? What are you most excited about? Let me know in the comments section below. And if you're thinking about moving to New Braunfels, or if you live in New Braunfels and are thinking about taking advantage of the higher home values here in New Braunfels and selling, I would love to be your real estate resource of choice. You can email me, you can call me, or you can shoot me a text. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and we'll see you on the next one.